is you can get many of you from management background, so abdc indexing also, if you like to see that
Yes,
also you can get. And HJR information, that is scientific journal ranking, or you can say SCMAGO journal ranking, the quarterly information. So other also you can, based on this indexing, you can select the indexing which is there, which is relevant for your particular area, like HCERES. Because I'm from engineering, for me it is SGR is enough, and I can have ABDC in some cases, or core, some cases like computer science general conference. So you have to select that, and so once it is activated, very simple, just to add, and then you select those, and next jump to your um, Google Scholar account. So let me take you to my Google Scholar. So here you see, straightforward, it is activated. If I just click on this, without clicking on this also, it is activated, but you keep it active. Now it is active. So now you see the paper that we have published, it is arranged based on citation. So you can see the quarterly information of the published article, author published article. So in that basis you can able to get, and if you click on add more, so you can add other indexing as well here. Like if I want to see, because I have not selected other like indexing, so for me I'm getting SGR information and ABDC in some cases. So this is how it will look like. And when you do perform literature review, let me take you to Google Scholar, and there also I guess it should work. Let us check, or else we'll jump to another um, field. I'm just selecting something, EC signal analysis, a topic of your interest, whatever you like to perform a search. And as the extension is active, you can see now when you try to do sort of literature review at the time, sometimes we being asked to select article that has some quality parameter linked to it, like the indexing, if we say the this quarterly information or so. So now you can get the information, but without having that extension, you may not, you have to go and check that particular journal, and you have to find out whether it is Q1 Q2, all that. And if it is Q1 you are focusing on the quality paper, so this is one of the parameter that we do consider. But many, they do argue on different aspect, like on citation also. Let's say here a article, if it is getting cited 398, if you see, this is a signal analysis using wavelet transform, but this one is not part of any of that indexing. So but the work might have that potential, that's why people are citing it, so you can consider that. So along with the quartile information, along with this indexing information, you have to look into other parameter, like in our research publication on research, particularly citation that play a vital role in different dimension. They take citation as one of the reference, and the area that you are looking into, in few cases it may not be applicable when we talk about this indexing. So like that, now you have that option. Many of the cases you get PDF, so you can get the PDF of it. So this is one extension. Let me remove this extension. Once I remove this from edge, you see all that whatever we got here, that will that will also be removed. So without that, you are now sort of individually, you have to manually, you have to check whether you are looking for indexing or the quarterly information. So this is how the this works. If I refresh my Google Scholar account as well, here also it is removed. So now this is one extension, you can note it down, rapid journal quality check. Simple, you just do a Google search, you will get the link. Another extension is X citation journal ranking in Google Scholar. So let's check this extension. If I
Sir,
add,
Shweta Sharma has a question.
yeah.
She is asking, does it work only on Google Scholar?
Yeah, these are, in few cases in Google platform, I think the Rapid Journal that work, they have they have mentioned, in few, I think it is only, for Google Scholar, yes, because we're looking into publication, and it is sort of designed that will fetch information from Google Scholar only. But later on, they are updating, and it might linked with other pages also, but as of now it is particularly designed for Google Scholar. So I think that is clear. And X citation journal ranking is also for Google Scholar. This now I have added. I think it is activated. Okay, let me activate it. X citation journal ranking, and let me go to this page again. You see this is now active, and this is also sort of similar, but here what we are getting is this quartile info, SGR info, along with that score, quartile score, and a total journal ranking score against all of your publication. Let's say I have 100 publication, that is being divided in this ratio. Na is something like 55. It is showing where, though it is part of Scopus, but it is not qualified for, let's say, for quartile, like in book chapter, in some cases conference proceeding, that is not to be considered for quartile. So in that case it might be Na, but for journal article and other conference paper, let's say, or review paper, this is the score. And this directly, you can let's say you need to submit somewhere, you are going to apply for a position, and they are asking for your publication, and the best way is to produce this as one of the proof, where you do not need to go manually and check the quartile information, but simply what I will do, let me just print this page, uh, even that quality, rapid quality check, whatever we did. So if I just go and print it, I can save it to PDF, through Microsoft Print to PDF. That is normally now it is being installed. And if I just like to keep it, let me keep it in desktop, and we have to wait for some time. It is 0 byte as of now. Once it is done, you see the size is changed. Okay, now it is ready. So I've installed PDF Gear. PDF Gear also, or you can, instead of just having this Adobe Reader, you can have PDF Gear. Now, as a researcher, that will help you. If PDF Gear, PDF Gear, this is free as of now. You can easily download this PDF Gear. I've made a video on this also. This is compatible with Android, with all, with Windows and all. So you have many facility while you install PDF Gear. This I have opened it with PDF Gear. So let's say this image is blur or something, you want to replace that. Here you can have that option, like if you go to edit, you can add a image, add image, and you can even replace that image also. Like if I want to select an image, let me select the image. I want to keep it here, a high resolution one, and I can do that. I can do that. So this is how this is beneficial. If just for an example, I'm just giving you. So now it is fine, let's say it is fine. And other information, like here you have a report a bug or something, and you go to uh, annotate, you go to annotate, select rectangle. Here it is selected white color. If I simply select, it is covered. So now you see, along with your CV, now I can attach this PDF. Even to attach a PDF to PDF, you can use this PDF Gear, where you have function to add to add multiple PDF, and you can make, or to merge basically the PDF. So many of the there are functionality, you come and explore this. And if if you want to delete a page, you can select that one, even you can delete that, so many things you can do over here. So now you see what you got your publication detail, the author detail, the SGR detail, the journal detail, the citation, the year, everything from simply from Google Scholar. And along with that you are getting the quartile information, so as a proof you can uh, do that. So this is one thing that I thought of sharing with you while starting this. And I can now, if you have anything to say. And because one of the component that we're talking about is research paper writing. So yesterday I just covered a brief about it, and today let's jump into it again, and with all the component will like let's see. So you all know research, when we talk about research there is nothing but the search of for knowledge. And when you publish something, it is sort of a permanent record. If you look into in that sense, then you can relate with quality publication or other thing. While you publish a document, it will get digital footprint, and it will be a permanent record against your name, as I showed you my Google Scholar. So in early of our career we do not know about indexing, we do not know about peer publication, so we might have published, we have published in those journal as well. But now as we are aware of it, so why to make that mistake again? We have another platform, we have so many platform to explore and to submit our work with with sort of a discipline in your research while writing it. So that's where, because if like let's say whatever you have published now, that will be there for even if you're not here in this earth, even your publication will be there and people will be citing you. Even in one of my earlier talk, I was showing many of the researcher profile, those who are not alive now, and their Google Scholar is being maintained by their respected institution, and their citation is as of now also that it is increasing, and people are reading it and citing it, and they are doing their research. So in that sense, if you can able to link, then I think it will give you sort of self motivation. And why we do publish, all that publish and peer pressure is there, then self interest has to come, and somewhere self denial and some interest there, you have to make it a balance sort of in thing. And something contribution to the scientific society, that has to be part of all this. And what to publish, what not to publish, that also is very critical. Tomorrow we'll talk about that, while we talk about this beginning of this sort of the plagiarism and the AI, when it is playing vital role, what is happening around. And you need to know, because when you are in this business, you have to know about the dark side of it, and how to do thing in a smarter manner, so that you'll be doing all the thing within the ethical boundary. So this outdated work, already published work, incorrect data, that you need to avoid. And you need to focus on good content and presentation. And moreover, when we talk about all this, basically a research writing, in general, if I say research writing, so you can the outcome can be a research paper. The outcome can be a rapid, let's say, communication for later, for a review article, can be a case study, can be something you are going to present in a conference or in a symposium or somewhere. So these are different component, and we'll see those in detail when we'll talk about. I think here also I'll give you some hint about the Scopus. Today I will show you the Scopus document type, so we'll discuss about it. And the structure of paper, yesterday I've shown you that Elsevier, from that presentation, it's been compared with the face and the head, the meat part of it and the tail part of it. So similar way you can relate with the human being, and you need to focus on all the component that need to be present in your particular publication, or whatever you are trying to report. So the order of preparation, it has to start in this manner. Let me just use pen. So it has to start in that manner. Like first you have to focus on the figure table, method, result, discussion, conclusion, introduction, abstract, title, keyword, acknowledgement, references. In that sequence, you can prepare that. And now while we talk about those AI tool, day 4 and day 5, that during that time, we can talk about the tools, to help you to draft your abstract, the title. There is a tool called Writeful. Let me note it down so that I can show you those tool. And with the help of Bing AI also, this Edge has the feature, or you can able to draft your abstract title, even the conclusion of it. So that can be done, but those content will be coming from your draft paper, not from different external sources. That's where you will be safe ethically. So your draft content in the sense your result, methods, discussion, other part has to be there somewhere, not in a complete form, but in a whole, so that it will take information from that part, and it can build the title, a beautiful title, suitable title, and then abstract, and even the conclusion. So when we talk about a research article, we talked about this, but particularly when we look into this, a title, the word specification. So it can be from 5 to 15 words, appropriate word, informative, clear. You need to avoid jargons and symbols in the title. That is very important. Many of the cases I've seen, people, they use like short form in the title as well. That to be avoided, because somebody is reading into may not able to relate to it. And something towards the scientific contribution, and when we talk about this authorship also, I have made a complete video on it, because many of the cases these ethical issues are arising based on this authorship position, authorship conflict, all that. So they all the author has to be agreed before submitting that work to a particular journal, or conference, or whatever platform you are planning to do. Then the abstract, you see here, this I have kept because you can see this is a structure abstract. The meaning of it is something like, when you define the purpose, like you label it in the abstract itself, like purpose, methods, result, and conclusion. It can be of introduction, method, result, and conclusion. Then in that way, you are specifying each part from your manuscript, and you are putting it in the abstract, so that a reader can able to understand. Even if you are not doing so, you are making a unstructured abstract, but that component has to be there in the abstract. So that is what structure and unstructured abstract is. And the keyword has to be again specific, that should relate to your work, you know and that it should not be 10 or 15 keywords. 5 to 7 keywords is more than enough. Then introduction is somewhere. In some cases, a journal, like if you're planning to submit to a IEEE or so, they have special instruction for the keyword. From the keyword dictionary only you have to select and you have to write. But for other journal, there may not be any mandate to that. Introduction has to be about that paper, where somebody should read that article. The interest has to you have to form that interest, or somebody is looking into your article. They should able to understand, they should able to relate what you are trying to say. And you have to establish that one based on the literature review that you have performed, the topic that you have selected. With that, you have to you have to fill that, you have to take that sort of a story, like you are building the story that yesterday I've shown you, like the plot you have to set. Then the related work, you can divide the introduction of two part. Many of the cases, people, they have only introduction. So related work or literature review, in that sense also you can break it. and you can have here as well. In the introduction there is, nowadays many of the article you can able to see 4 to 5 key finding, or here we have mentioned only three key finding. So the contribution of the article or the key finding of the article, like that, you if you mention that, in the introduction, the reviewer will try, when they will read, they may not go through all in detail of the introduction. They might read only this key point or key contribution, and they can able to relate the work. So better to have it, to make a good paper. And then method and material section, there you have to be particular, or basically, the method that you will be adopted, or you have formed certain technique that you have to clearly, you have to mention. Use a proper block diagram, or sort of pseudo code if you are using, or the, in a step you are trying to describe for the all the stages that you are trying to do. And again, the tables, figures, they play vital role here. What I Because I've cropped it from a paper, so you may not able to see the resolution of it. But when we try to submit a work, we focus on this aspect as well. A table should be editable. When we submit it on a word file, it should be editable. It should not be a image file. The equation should be editable, and the image has to be a image form, and of a high resolution 600 dpi. So all that you have to keep it in mind. So you can see that. And discussion is something, you generally, sort of wide application, and you try to form, or try to address the published work what they have talked about, and you try to relate to it. Even a comparative table can be added like this. A comparison of table, as you can see, can be added in the discussion section, suggesting the accuracy, f score, recall, precision, whatever is relevant for your research work, that you can compare with your proposed model and the earlier published work. If you are trying to do that, then you are trying to establish, that you are trying to convey that you have gone through the literature, you have at par with the already published work, even better than the published work, and something new you are trying to contribute in terms of accuracy, in terms of app score, and all that. Conclusion, sort of a brief summary of the result. Discussion should be more of a summary finding. You need to emphasize on that, and so a reader might look into your title, abstract, even the conclusion and the references. And that normally, when a reviewer, as a reviewer point of view, when we look into a paper, when it comes to us, then we first check the title, abstract, and conclusion. In many cases, may not be conclusion, but in few cases conclusion, and the references, whether what sort of references he or she has cited, not just the conference or the book chapter, but it has to form the research article with from recent work also has to be there. So that we normally look into, and then we start reading the article. So acknowledgement, if you need to acknowledge, please do acknowledge them. Do not skip that part. And then declaration is nowadays is mandatory in many of the cases, many of the journal, that even for this AI tool, if you have done something using AI tool, better to declare it, that portion you have to cite it. You have done some sort of language correction in this part using this particular AI tool. No need to worry, you can cite that as well. And this is how it should look like. And what to avoid tips is something like, if you focus on readers interest, and the clarity, and the structure, or while framing that works, your research article, that clarity has to be there. And first thing is, like, if you think like what a reader will say, what somebody will look into my article, what they will say, then naturally we'll try to improvise and avoid too many equation. If it is sort of from mathematical background, it is fine. But figures, similar figure, too many figure, too many tables, many of the cases we have seen so many, without any explanation, only tables, figures are there. so those need to be avoided. And new novel, for the first time, this sort of word also need to be avoided. Grammatical typo, error, graphical error, or unethical approaches, AI, misuse of AI tool, plagiarism, that to be avoided. So that to be avoided. And saying that, if you have any query, we can take that, and then we can move to the difference between um, book, book chapter and conference, and this research article that we can see. And any doubt, anything that you like to ask?
So there is a question from Shweta Sharma ma'am, and she is asking, please throw some light on author position. Like,
Yeah, about that, I have made a complete video about 10 to 15 minutes. In You can refer to my that video. But to just to give you some idea, uh, you have to follow the COPE guideline, Committee on Publication Ethics, where they have clearly mentioned about, even if you are, let's say, from medical, there is a clear cut guideline for medical committee of journal, some committee, they have talked about who should be the first author, somebody who has contributed maximum to that work. Principal, author has to be there. Like, if it is student work, student has to be there. Somewhere we have seen, that during PhD, we have heard, or we have seen that cases like, the supervisor, they take the first position and they give student the second position, so that is unethical. And I do remember, while we have edited a book, you can see these are so many book we have edited, about 20, I think around 30 books, where in one of the conference proceeding from Springer, we have received a ethical this thing from one of the author, post publication ethical issues, where I should not name the institute, from a reputed institute. And the case was something like, uh, a work has been, which was part of a student project, uh, you know that was not published that time. But once that student is passed out, he or she is now, somewhere, placed or in academia somewhere. And now that work, it was with the institute, with that supervisor, the team, and they have published it with a new set of author. So in that case, they have not contacted the student, not taken any approval, or let's say consent from the student, and they have published. So the student, when he or she found that work, that is his or our work, that is published, he filed a complaint to the publisher, and that come to us. And then that paper get retracted. And once something get retracted with sort of plagiarism, sort of unethical approach, so that is something bad to the when it comes to reputation of the author. So you have to be careful. So everyone has to agree, and you have to look into who, you should not miss out anyone. So you have to take the consent, and even on the position, before submitting it to the journal, because who has contributed what portion to that particular work. So in that basis, you have to decide. And if all are okay with it, in some cases you may not able to, if he or she is not qualified to be author, you can acknowledge them in the reference, in the acknowledgement section. Even the laboratory, where if you have done something, out of not from your institute, from another institute, and you want to acknowledge that institute, so that you can do in the acknowledgement part. But whomever are involved do have a word, and decide. This is mutual sort of understanding. Decide that he or she is going to the first, second, third, fourth, and who will be corresponding author, who will be the first author. That is also somewhere, point wise also we'll see the weightage when we talk about scoopers and other. So there also I can try to show you how it look like. And when this ranking and also, they look into the all this position, and they form their ranking. So the author position, that do take important place in publication. Hope any other doubt? Anything else anyone like to ask? Yeah, these are
Sir, I think we should proceed. Yes.
okay. So let me start with this book chapter. So here, because I wanted to show you this, you might be receiving so many, call to submit in a book or so, because these are my, our call, our, already over, call. So advantages, many of the cases, I've seen people, they out of, let's say, 10 publication, there 7 or 8 publication is book chapter, because that is easy, no publication fee, rare rejection. But disadvantage is that, let me show all that point so that you can see, in generic, if I'll say, the weightage wise, it may not be at, if we put it in weight scale, so it is not, equal to journal publication. Because in few cases, I can agree, like if you have contributed to IEEE, press or somewhere, or let's say Willy, IEEE Willy combined, press, so there the weightage is there, but not in all cases. And reputed publisher, there are so many, publisher now, they are calling for book chapter. And I've seen, and we also focus on quality, with the tie off with the Springer, Elsevier, and we limit our, this sort of agreement with the other, publisher. So that you have to look, that is a personal, opinion that can come into play. But uh, the disadvantage is that, people might suspect, if your, 70-80% of publication is only from book chapter, the weightage you may not get, while you apply somewhere else. And but another part is that, if you are editing a book or you are authoring a book, there the weightage is different. And contributing to a good, book, the weightage will be different. So there is, this thing. And API score, if I've taken it from the Delhi University, where this book chapter, particularly in books and other journal, article, so they are giving some sort of 10, a point for chapter, you can see here. And while it comes to research review paper, it is 15. And conference proceeding, is this again equal to with the book chapter. So research publication is a text and subject of reference book, that is sole author is there, then it is 40. So as I said, only on the sole author is there. And it is a textbook, you have contributed something. And you have to look into your regulation also, your institute regulation also. And then decide, where to submit. And ranking also, NIRF ranking, in that also, they will see only the ISBN number, and if it is published by a reputed publisher. But my advice will be to focus on the indexing part also, to Scoopers, to Web of Science. And these are additional indexing, the Scoopers and Web of Science, if you can able to focus, so that is good. And document type, when we see this is a Scoopers document type, what they have defined. Article, when they say, a document that is indexed, when it will be part of Scoopers, so against each document, a document type will be allotted of your publication, whatever you have published. So if it is article, then that is normally, defined as the research, original research and opinion. And if it is of chapter, against that, that will be a book chapter. Then conference paper, it can be a original, article, reported data that is presented in a conference symposium. So somewhere, this conference article and book chapter, weightage wise, somewhere similar weight is being given, as per my, understanding. But it might vary, it might vary depending on the institute also. So just wanted to show you one case where you can see this is a one of our paper, I guess, that is published in lecture note in engineering, and it is a book series, Springer book series. And you see the document type is conference paper, because the book series is part of a conference, though it is a book. And a you can say a book chapter is published in that book series, but document type is now conference paper, because that is part of a conference. And while they have signed that MOU, or the contract with that publisher, in that it will be clearly mentioned as conference paper. But the same book, same lecture note in electrical engineering, when it is not part of a conference, and somebody, let's say, is editing a book from that. So let's say this is another series from Springer Studies in Computational Intelligence, and now you see the document type can be a book chapter, because that is not part of any conference. And while signing the agreement, it was mentioned that all the contribution will be considered as book chapter. So now let's say you are applying somewhere, so you have to see, because you might be unaware of that thing. You are trying to submit, because you know that that is published in a book, and you are thinking that that is will be considered as book chapter, but somehow it is written as conference paper, so you may not be able to get that weightage. No, let's assume you are filling a pay score for sort of application, or you're trying to submit your final thesis, and that time you have to you have to show, you have to produce the sort of a proof that you have your article is part of a conference. So that time you have to be particular. So this is how this is the document type. And both are book series, but document type is different. Now again you see another case. This is IIT publisher, IIT Healthcare Technology, where this is again one of our, I think, edited book or chapter, where the document type is both. This is again from Web of Science. From Web of Science, now this is indexed as both as article and document type. So now you see I can get 15 marks if I produce this as article, because Web of Science, it is telling us that document type is article. But that body should agar they have mentioned it, that it can be from Web of Science or Scopus, then you can produce this from the Web of Science, and you can claim that 15 point as an article. And in somewhere you want to adjust it as book chapter, there also you can do that. So you have to look into, you have to understand this document type, which is very important when you finally go and apply somewhere. And these are different book series, just to show you what are the different book series where you can think of publishing. So this part we normally focus to collaborate, and we come up with the book. And we have book with CRC, with IGI Global, with T Grutter, and with Willy Scheme Beer publisher also. But these are reputed publisher, the Springer Nature, the IT, the IEEE Press, the River Publisher, and all that. So if you are contributing, try to contribute to those book series. You have to look into the call. It will be mentioned in that call. Now coming into how it will look like, just to because you all already know. So this I've shown you about journal paper, just to give you information to book volume. This is how a book chapter under a book volume will look like. This will be a book chapter, and this is part of Springer. This is a conference paper, procedure computer science, and all this information, like where it is published, or where it is indexing, bodies of that, all that need to be considered. So just to give you idea on that. And then let me show you on many of the time you because we're talking about research art writing. So to show you the conference paper here, if we try to compare with conference and journal, or the weightage will be different. and the publication will be different. And in conference you are going to present somewhere, and then the proceeding will come, where journal you are no need to present. Your work will be evaluated by the reviewer, and after reviewing only it can get published. Page length might be, some difference will be there. Let's say you have to look into that conference guideline to look into the page length of that journal. Also similar, you have to see their template, but average I can say 15 to 20, even 30 pages can be, you can think for a journal article. But again, in few cases you have to follow the instruction. And both cases, no plagiarism, no AI content, you have to focus. But I've seen nowadays they are saying clear cut, the similarity score has to be below 10% for this plagiarism part, and for AI content also in few cases. But in few cases they may not encourage that also. Fee will be involved in conference, like registration fee. APC fees can be there for open access journal. And so that's where, when we talk about open access publication, basically for to get more citation, because that will be available to the reader. And but there will be APC charges that need to be borne by the author or by the institution. Then the time, it is post publication in many of the conferences, pre publication also that took place, that total depend on that timeline they have set. But the journal, that also, they will be, they have their volume, and so they have to publish that within a certain period of time. So in few cases, the average length, if I say for a journal, a good journal which they should take is 6 to 1 year. But we look for quick publication. In that case, on open access journal might do it within 3 to 4 months in few cases, but not in all cases. But if we look into this subscription based journal, they normally will take a time period between 6 to 1 month, even more to that time. And the other journal, they were earlier used to publish by paying and just to publish, and now they are not indexed in Scopus or Web of Science. Acceptance percentage will more if we talk about conference, because there are so many platform that is available. Alternative, if it is getting rejected, you can get it done with another publishing conference platform. But journal nowadays, mm, not nowadays, it is totally open, the quality of the work and the theme of that particular journal. So you might get dex rejection if you randomly submit to a journal. So that in the last day we'll talk about the journal selector, a different journal selector. Also we'll see, I'll show you the those journal selector. Then Web of Science and Scopus indexing, that is document type that we discuss. And same format you should also need to follow the structure, but the templating might vary based on the conference. And the tool that I was talking yesterday also about Draw.io, for a good diagram, you can follow Draw.io, and you can draw your a diagram in that. And we also I've made a video on that in detail, how to save for the high resolution 600 dpi image. So you can follow that video as well. So this is Draw.io. Then keep good if you are keeping the pseudo code, then it should look catchy and interest, and somebody will look into this, they should able to understand. So that also you have to look into the image resolution also, just to show you. It has to be of good, the labeling of it. If you are using MATLAB, you are using Python, you are using SPSS, you are using whatever software, try to save it in a good save, with proper labeling, proper what I can say, with the resolution. And then keep it in your draft. So just I was keeping some references to give, so that you all know the journal publication and conference publication. So this is what I thought of sharing today. And then the last part that I thought of showing you is to take you to Scopus platform. Then we can take query. Let me show you on the document type. Web of Science, let me check. Web of Science, if i was I was having limited access to it, but let me check. Yeah, I have some around 28 days, so I can show you. Let's start from Web of Science. Here also you can see this is how the profile will look like, your publication. It will be automatically, it will be index, it will, it will fetch your publication. If not, you can add those things. So we are not I'm not showing you those part, but you see author position, somebody was asking about that. So now this Web of Science and even Scoopers also is giving the author position. So you see here the first place 11%, last is 36, and corresponding. So you see that three position is being highlighted, so you can relate to that, the importance of it. So because once you done your PhD, then you might supervise somebody. That time you can be the last author and the corresponding, and that's where you get good score on that also, without keeping yourself in the first position, if it is of student work. So this is one on, if, let me, so these are the publication detail, and here you can see the citation detail also, citation detail, and you can calculate the H index, all that in the Web of Science. But for that you need to have access to it. And another thing is about this document. Earlier it was having different scale, so let me. So here you can come to publication, and whatever is not being listed you can select and you can add to that. So you have to add your all this ORCID ID. You can do ORCID integration to it, and you can add your publication in this list. Even you can download your CV here. This I can, let me show you. This is the summarized career highlight. One will be the full export, just to give you, because another custom field is there. Whatever you want to keep it, you can keep it. You can get uh, the CV. There is some update going on with Web of Science. Earlier it was with Publons, now it is with Web of Science. So so many changes is happening with Web of Science. So once it is downloaded, I will show you that yes, it is downloaded. So this is a career highlight of from Web of Science. As I have connected ORCID, so it will take all the publication from ORCID, which is part of Web of Science, and top journal reviewed, that is shown, HL board member also, that is shown, and other information which I like to give, that is also shown in this. So this is Web of Science, where you get information about your publication, citation, and a, as I was talking about you about that document type. Let me show you that also. Let me go back. Let me go back. So let me select any paper. Let me select this paper. Once I click on that, you see you come to this document type. It is part of a journal, so it is mentioned as article. So this is how you can get. Earlier you I think I have to look into that. It was being divided into how many articles are there, how many book chapter is there, so you can get that information. Even SDGs, if it is part of sustainable development goal, that also information you can able to get from this. And another is this number. Sometimes let's say the work that you have published is part of a indexing body, and now it is removed from Scopus or Web of Science. But this number, this SSN number, will help you to prove that when you publish that time, it was indexed in Web of Science or Scopus. This is for Web of Science. So you can print this page and you can submit that your work is part of Web of Science. And the other indexing, like if it is part of, you see here the record is part of SCIE, so it is also mentioned. So that information you can check. So document type I wanted to show you. So against each document you can get that information. Earlier it was with this side, you can get that information. Co-author detail you are getting here. And I think this is okay for 92. Let me check. Yes, yes. When I selected that total 92, now you see um, document type. Here you have now document type: article, proceeding paper, book chapter, review, and that is part of only Web of Science. So now let me go back to Scopus. So this is Scopus, my Scopus profile. And here you see similar in a way: first author position, last author, co-author, and single author. So it is showing us in this way: last, first, co-author. In Web of Science, another was mentioned as corresponding author. You are getting some information, and some information on this author position detail. You see, you can get this information. So this is this you need sort of access to Scopus, then only you can able to get. Recently we have started few service by supporting the author and the institution through my enterprise. So you can visit my website to, you can request us and we can provide with those information. You can visit, you can note this website, e-support for research. And you can mail me, email ID is there. With these many services we are providing, you can mail us or you can text us. We'll provide you Scopus info. You are looking for similarity check or other thing, that we can do. And this is another thing. And now let's select this, all this publication, 199 publication. When I've selected that, year, co-author name, subject area, and now you see document type. Document type: article, conference paper, book chapter, editorial. Is, again, I think it is all are included as book. They have divided into two part, book and this. In total it is 30 books. So because we have written editorial for the book, and review term, in that way it is being divided. So now you see the document type, and it is listed. So when you try to prove some, give a report, then that time it will be mentioned. You see each article against it, it can be written article in press. If it is a book chapter, so it will be written as book chapter. So that is how it look like. So if any doubt, I think we have reached to time. You can let me know. Let me stop.
Sir, there is a question from Somaditya sir. Please let us know if there is any just any tool that help us write in a APA format without worrying about formatting. Because in MS Word, we have to constantly worry about format getting changed from system to system.
Okay. That I have to see, because there are, nowadays these AI tools are, they are coming with certain platform, but most are paid platform. API, earlier I have found one or two platform, but they were they asked to upgrade the account to premium, then only you can able to do it. Even for data survey or data sort of this also there are there. But let me find out if anywhere you can do it freely, then I will share.
Sir, even if anything which is premium or paid, if it can be done, it can be purchased by the scholar. If you can let us know, that would be great, sir.
But actually, there's API score. Sometimes it varies from institute to institute. Like Delhi University API score, I've shown you some format. It may not be same. If it is same, is it same for all?
Sir, API is same for everyone, and like almost all university which are under UGC. And what Somaditya sir is asking is about APA format.
APA.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that I have to see because APA format.
Because management paper we need to write in APA format only. We need to follow APA.
Okay.
Sir, I think I'll stress a little more on this query.
Yeah, please.
Our focus is, some journals want Chicago reference styling, some journals
Okay.
want an APA
Oh,
reference
you are
styling. So,
talking
how do
about
we convert from one style
no,
to
no,
another?
that I got. You are talking about the referencing part.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's
Okay, okay.
referencing.
I misunderstood. Yeah, for that, why not to jump to Mendeley or this you have
The
Jotaro.
yes.
Yeah, I have made two complete video. You visit my this YouTube channel. From downloading to how to install, how to reference, APA, Chicago, all IEEE, everything I've discussed in that. I misunderstood that query actually.
So Somaditya sir, you can visit our YouTube channel
Yeah,
and keep it
the
up for details.
videos on Jotaro and Mendeley is available, and very soon I will make video on Jeffref. Another software is there, so that
I
can
think that
also
we
help.
can make an like extension in Word also with Mendeley.
Yeah, yeah, but you can do so many things, and this formatting issue, won't be an issue if you are using Mendeley or Jotaro.
Okay. So Madhya sir, we will have another FDPU on Zotero and Mendeley, how to use it. Otherwise, for meanwhile, you can go to sir's YouTube channel and you can check it out. So with this, we came to an end of this today's session. We'll be having another session tomorrow at 7:30. So thank you very much, sir, for sparing your time, and thank you every participant for being a part of it. So thank you and good night to everyone.